What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the sports talk show for the students, by the students, and with the students. I'm Spencer Grzywacz, and alongside me is our lovely moderator, Bailey Hebert. My bro, really good friend, and co-host, GP Osa. Thank you for coming along on this ride with us, and this is Raider Report.
Hello everyone. Let's start with covering last week's picks, including Steph Curry breaking his own record in the most 3 points in a season against OKC. Let's talk about that game for a little bit.
Who won that game?
The Warriors won that game.
They did off of what happened to win the game?
Steph Curry with the shot, boy.
Can I hear GP say it?
Yeah. I don't know why you continue to do this to yourself.
I've warned him multiple times.
You're doing it to yourself.
I've gone on record
defense,
warning you.
Everyone who was rooting for it, they thought they were going to lose. I was this close.
I'll be honest.
I was point-some seconds away from us.
You can think all you want, but the facts show that the Warriors won.
I was watching the game, and I was like, oh, GP might be right, but then
Could've
you
gone
weren't.
4-0. I'll go 4-0 next time. Okay.
All right, let's keep score. So you're one?
One.
0-1? Okay.
I won one.
All right, next let's talk about Kansas versus Texas Tech. Y'all are unfortunately correct in y'all's prediction. Kansas won that game. I wanted Texas Tech to win. Wreck-em,
we wanted Texas Tech to win as well, and the in-studio audience kind of gave us a lot of flack for this last time on the last show, but we have to understand, we didn't want Tech to lose. We were just using our brains and the knowledge that we know about basketball to understand that Texas is the better team. That Kansas is the better team at the moment.
You ever heard of speak it into belief, like speak it into motion, speak it into action? If you would have said it, they might have won.
Hey,
but you doubted them.
All I'm saying is Kansas is the number one team in the Big 12.
They are.
Thank you.
They are a great team. They are. But
Tech hung around. It was a 9-point game, I think, by the end, by the final score. I think it was a 9-point win for Kansas. But, Tech's close. They're close, but they're not over that hump yet to take out a top-notch team like Kansas.
True. Very true. Okay. So you're 2-0
Yes.
with your predictions. You're 1-1. All right. Next we have OU versus Texas. GP.
I came out with the W today.
What?
So.
Oh, look at you, GP.
One at a time, everyone. One at a time. I just like to bask in this real quick.
Good job, GP.
You should not feel good about picking Texas and then Texas winning. Okay? As a Texas Tech student, you should not feel good about the Longhorns winning and beating OU. I'm just saying, that's a lose-lose.
I'll say what I said before. OU is overhyped.
They're not overhyped. You'll see. The Big 12 is just very deep. It's a very thinly spread conference in regards to talent.
We talked about this last week. We did.
We did. So you're 2-1?
Yes.
2-1?
2-1.
All right, let's see. We have San Antonio versus Houston. Unfortunately for me, San Antonio took that one, and so did you guys. So.
Yeah, like I said, this is a lose-lose pick for me because I don't personally prefer either team. But you look at San Antonio, who, besides the Warriors putting up the greatest record of all time, maybe by the end of the season, the Spurs would be putting up the greatest record of the decade. So. And Houston's bursting at the seams right now from top to bottom, so it was a no-brainer to go with San Antonio. So I'm talking about the basketball team, the Rockets, all right, not the city, but the Rockets. So San Antonio, that was a no-brainer that they were going to win that game.
I have to agree. It was a no-brainer. Shout out to all our viewers in San Antonio. Riverwalk is amazing.
Shout out.
I have a few of them here in studio right now. So.
For real,
some in the studio, you can tell because they're, But anyway, it was just simple, easy math. 1, 2 equals 3.
Easy math. Okay. Well, hey, y'all actually tied in predictions this week. You were 3-1. You were 3-1.
If it wasn't for
Double
Steph Curry,
high five.
I would be 4-0, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay.
Good job, you guys.
That was a good high five.
It was.
That was a good high five.
All right. Anyway, let's move on to GP's new segment, Not So News.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Not So News, the bit where I give you very important sports news. On Monday in Chapel Hill, UNC guard Marcus Page became emotional during his farewell speech at senior night to the Tar Heel Nation. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is this news? Well, because he's a senior in the NCAA. How rare are those? Those are more rare than Manziel being sober, more rare than getting out the friend zone. Don't try it. She doesn't like you like that.
Tried that, didn't work.
She's more rare than Rob Gronkowski engaging in an intellectual conversation. In other news, Knicks basketball star Kristaps Porzingis turns down promposal from high school senior Sam Miller. When asked about his decision, he replied, "Ball is life, ball is love." I just bring the news. In other news, Pittsburgh's Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell, aka Juice, aka Juice Man, aka Minute Maid, aka Metro Coonan, has recently dropped his debut mixtape on SoundCloud. What's the name of this work of fire, you ask? You guessed it, Juice. I know. This is very original. The track list, I'll tell you: Ultralight Steel Beam. Mike Tomlin Stretch My Hand Part 1, 10 and 6, Big Ben Beat the Case, and finally Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan is actually one of the real titles for his songs. Don't ask me, please don't. I don't know. And finally, last part of news is Marshawn Lynch. He was found rapping on a camel. Now, does that really surprise you? I mean, the only thing missing from this equation is Skittles. And someone yelling, "Hold my D!" I'm just excited for the upcoming rap beef between Marshawn Lynch, the Juice Man himself, Le'Veon Bell, and Iman Shumpert. So until then, that's all I got for Not So News. Back to you, Bailey.
Well, thank you. Thank you, GP. That was a lovely Not So News segment. Well, let's move on to the boys in Tech Corner.
All right, thank you, Bailey, for that introduction. So here in Tech Corner, a recent tradition we've created, we kind of highlight some tech sports and tech players that are doing really good currently and is trending in the news for Texas Tech athletics.
Yeah.
And recently, Jaylene Hinkle, former Red Raider, made her debut on February 24th on the U.S. women's soccer team. That is the national U.S. women's soccer team trying to qualify for the Olympics. And personally, I think that's incredible. Now, you're more of our soccer expert, so what is your take on this?
Well, I'll give you an analysis. No, I'm kidding. I wanted to, say a quick congrats to Jaylene. She's doing really good right now. I really just want to let y'all know that she's actually on the actual roster, for the women's national team. There's under 21s, there's under that, under so for age group, but she's actually on the actual roster, which is really great. And her being a defender is really kind of exciting to see the way she performs, especially in the US's 4-4-2 and 4-4-3-2. I like to see how that is. It's very simplistic, and she can kind of hop in there. And we've seen her play in those tech games.
Yeah.
Very versatile, very, very good. She's able to hold down defense, hold it down in the back line, and we've seen that in very crucial games for the past 4 years. And again, shout out to her. And
love to see Tech represented on the national level for the USA.
Yes, it's really good, really good. Again, can only speak good things about her.
So in other news, Janine Becky, another soccer star for the Texas Tech women's soccer team, is part of the Canadian women's national team as well, so representing not Tech nationally, but internationally, came off the bench on February 24th in the 71st minute to spur a comeback against Brazil.
Wow, the only thing I wish she would come over to USA side, but I know it's not that easy. But again, she's a little different. She's a striker, so she's very fast. I remember watching one of the games against UT. Very, very quick. She's always, the defenders, midfielders cannot trace her. She's a really good player. I just loved watching her at Tech, and I can't wait to watch her at the national level with Canada. I just love the fact that these two girls are able to move up to the next level and compete at such a just really competitive level. So again, I want to watch y'all all the time.
She's certainly easy to pick out in the field with those signature gold cleats she's always wearing.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah, so.
All the time. But I guess that's it for today. All right, stick around, and we got plenty more, including our big debate coming up.
Hey guys, welcome back. To start off today's debate, we have to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo saying, and I quote, "If everyone was at my level, we'd be leaders." Guys, this like throwing his teammates under the bus, it's like, is it the hard truth or is he just boosting?
I like Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't follow soccer as much as GP here does, but I like Cristiano Ronaldo as the greatest player in the world, equal with Messi. But ultimately, I have a problem with this statement because you are belittling your teammates at this point. And when you belittle your teammates, they don't play necessarily to the expectation that they should. I think you need to pump your teammates up instead of shoot them down, and that's exactly what he just did. And it's really hurting the fact that the team chemistry in the locker room, which is essential regardless of what sports you play to the success of that team. So I absolutely have a problem with it, and I think he should honestly come out with a public apology that would then boost his teammates' self-esteem back up. Because right now, he's in some deep water with his teammates, and that's a problem in a team sport.
I agree.
No.
GP.
Okay, let's be honest. Cristiano Ronaldo, other than Lionel Messi, are the two best players in the world. No one has. Very few people have come close to their stats. The only people that come close to their stats are each other. Like 1 year it's Ronaldo, 1 year it's Messi. So I'm just gonna say this: he's very valid in his statement. I don't see why everyone's getting mad. Every year he's always contested for. He always takes the team to Copa del Rey. He always leads the team in goals. He always leads the team in goals, in assists, and he always. Is always the guy in the spotlight. The only other people that come close on the team for Real Madrid is Gareth Bale and James Rodriguez. And James Rodriguez he's brand new. He just came out of, I'm pretty sure he just came out of Roma, some foreign club. And Gareth Bale is his second or third year in Real Madrid. And so I just feel like they're both very talented players and they have very high potential. And so do other people on their team have high potential. But what I'm trying to say is that there's only one Ronaldo. I mean,
there might be only one Ronaldo, but with one Ronaldo plays on one team, okay? And that team has to come together to play better. And that's not gonna happen, especially, we don't know how soccer players' egos are. Like their ego is almost more important than the actual team win.
The whole
and their
point,
egos
the
all
way
shot
the
down.
offense is shaped for Real Madrid is to literally feed. It's always Cristiano the ball, you feed him the ball, you feed James the ball, Rodriguez, or you feed Gareth.
And guess what? Ronaldo's not going to get the ball if he keeps belittling his teammates, and they're not going to get the ball.
At the end of the day, as much as it hurts, as much as it's a hit to their pride, because you said all soccer players have big egos.
They do.
They do.
I said
at the end of the
fragile
day,
egos.
it's true. If you look at, since you're a stats guy, it's true. If you look at every stat, Ronaldo, or the only other person that can say I'm better is Messi. The only other two people, because they literally of their own category. It's
First off, I
ridiculous.
didn't say big ego. I said fragile ego. Okay, and. So, you mean you watch them? They get hit one time on the field, and they lay there for 10 minutes before they finally get up, and all of a sudden it's a superstar return
It's a
for the
tactical
soccer
move.
player.
It's a tactical move. Just like when we watched the.
Was Cristiano Ronaldo doing a tactical move by calling out his teammates? It's really going to hurt their egos.
He's just frustrated with their performance. You know how much money's pumped into that.
But you
program.
don't tell it to the media. You don't tell the entire media and the entire world and the most popular sport in the world what is wrong with that team.
You have to understand, this man, Real Madrid built this team around Cristiano Ronaldo. So he controls the team. If everyone there is to help better assist him to win games, score goals. That's what at the end of the day, that's what it is.
As the leader of that team, he needs to pump his team up, is all I'm saying. Not break them down.
All I'm saying is, hey, the truth hurts. Real Madrid, it hurts. He's cold. It hurts. It hurts. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna call that the end of this round.
It hurts.
End of this round, okay? You know, regardless of Ronaldo's ego, the Big 12 might be getting some new ones. With universities like University of Houston, UConn, and more being thrown in the talks for expansion, we have to ask one question. Is this even a good idea, at all? GP.
Is expansion a good idea? Yes, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. I want to see 2 teams added to the Big 12. Teams that I want to see is Houston. They're not only good. Cuckoos. Yeah, whatever. Throwing it up, 2 up, 2 down, H-Town. I want to see them, and I want to see Temple. Both teams are formidable. Especially we've seen Houston in their great run in football this season. They lost, I think, one or two games, top of their conference every year for the past 2 or 3 years. I think they deserve to be reunited with Tech. UT and everyone, because they used to be in a conference back. But anyway, I digress. But
Southwest Conference.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no. It's not a good idea right now. And the reason I say it's not a good idea right now is because there is no incentive to make the Big 12 bigger whenever you made it into the playoffs this most recent season with OU. Okay. So the reason and there's a lot of, like we just heard from one of our audience members, the reason a lot of people want to make the Big 12 bigger is for the Big 12 network, but the Big 12 already kind of has its own network. I know there's a UT network that doesn't run through the rest of the Big 12, but there is Fox Sports Southwest, which runs a lot of Big 12 sports as if it is their own network. Now, they're not getting all the money incentive that they would if they have their own network, but it serves somewhat the same purpose. I think in the future, yes, an expansion is likely and inevitable, but I don't know that you have to make that move right now, especially with the waiver that is going to be granted recently by the NCAA to allow a championship game anyways, even though there's only 10 teams in the conference. So I think they're fine right now. I think ultimately it would be in their best interest, but it doesn't need to happen right away.
What's wrong with adding 2 more teams? What's wrong with it? I think. Well, I look at all the pros. More money, more competition, an actual championship game, not what we had like 2 years ago when TCU and Baylor were both champions. None of that. I understand you said your waiver. Oops, excuse me. But I know you said the waiver would allow championship games for teams with conferences with 10, but still. It's better. It's better and cleaner if it's just 12 teams. It's better for basketball. It's better for football. I don't see any wrong in it. They need to do it as soon as possible because.
But you don't want to hurt the integrity of the Big 12 by adding 2 teams who might not be ready yet. I'm not saying Houston's necessarily completely prepared
They've had a
to come
great
in.
3. If you go back 3 seasons, they've been on
And
top.
look who they've been playing. Look who they've been playing. They're not playing the likes of UT, Texas Tech, OU, Baylor, TCU. They're not playing those kinds of teams. It's a different competition level, and I don't necessarily want to dilute the Big 12, who's already in a battle with the other conferences to who's the best conference in football, by bringing in a team that is not ready to be in the Big 12 yet.
I honestly.
The only team out there that's been thrown around that I think would be a good fit in the Big 12 as of right now is BYU, and that's if they're willing to give up the money that they're making as an independent to come over to the Big 12.
I think Houston is more than ready and willing to join the Big 12. As we've seen in college football, if they want to come. They beat ranked top 25 teams this season, and so they were ranked 24, and they showed and they proved it. Everyone was saying throughout the year, oh, they can't surmount to certain teams, but they proved them wrong.
Well, I personally am not on the Houston bandwagon yet. I think if they continue like TCU did for a longer time than Houston's done it so far, if they continue to progress, then they will be able to join the Big 12.
Your time is up. Sorry.
They've still got some more to prove.
He doesn't understand the
Do y'all
concept
not get
of
the concept
I
of the bell?
understand it. You know me.
Y'all get the concept. Okay. Anyway, let's move on, okay, for our next topic. Let's go outside of the Big 12 and head over to Duke, where the latest and greatest and hated Duke players is Grayson Allen. This boy is tripping, literally. So you guys, what do you make of this guy and his actions on the court?
Clever play on words.
Gotcha.
So the issue I have with Grayson Allen is that there's an integrity to basketball that you don't break. And one of those is you don't hit above the neck with an elbow, and you don't hit below the waist, okay? And the other one is you just don't trip players. There's not any sport, even football, you can't trip a player in football. I mean, you can't resist incidental contact, but you can't purposely stick a leg out and trip a player in football in a sport that is a contact sport. So in basketball, which is nowhere near the contact sport that football is, why should you be allowed to trip a player and then get away with it? It's not the fact that he tripped the player, it's the fact that he's gotten away with it from the ACC. And it's, to me, as a Duke player, you have a reputation. You know, Duke has, for example, Christian Laettner, the most popular and infamous Duke player, bad boy from Duke. And so there's certainly a reputation that you're trying to mold into, but I don't think that you want to do it by tripping in a way that is so obvious. Not only did he trip a guy, he did it obviously twice.
Right.
Okay? And so I have a problem with that, and I think he needs to be reprimanded, or else if he's not reprimanded, what's going to stop him from doing it again?
Or other players to start doing that too.
I'm not here technically to defend him or to say what he did was right, but all I'm going to say is this: I don't see the big deal. He was reprimanded in other occasions. He was given a technical, and other things they didn't catch, which happens in basketball. As you can see in the Tech games, they didn't call obvious fouls or obvious, that should have resulted in some free throws or the other team getting possession. So, but what I'm getting at is that I just feel like he's just being rough. He's just a bad boy. He's just a guy that just plays rough. I mean, yeah, tripping is bad. Yes, I know it's bad. And if he gets caught, he should get what's due. But all I'm trying to say is, are you giving me this look?
Because it sounds to me like you're saying that if you break the law, you shouldn't have to be punished for it if you don't get caught.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that.
And he was caught twice and not punished for it.
There's
a problem
there are
with
fouls that happen all the time.
Yes,
for a fact
but it's
that
not
did-
something that's going to
that
put
just happens.
that is as dangerous as
I'm not
tripping
saying-
a
I'm not
player on the
saying-
court running full speed.
I'm not saying I endorse it, but I'm saying it happens.
Yes, it happens, and he needs to be reprimanded
that late
for
bump
it.
that should have resulted in a foul. It happens.
It's not a late bump though. It's not like he's going
tripped.
for the ball and he accidentally, hit his player. Sorry, I'm using you
You're good, you're good.
as he just
What
hit the
I'm
player.
here
He's running down the court casually and he sticks his foot out behind him to trip a Florida State
He's
player.
dirty. He's a rough player. One thing.
And he needs to be reprimanded for that. And he
He's
needs to
right.
be
He needs to be-
suspended
he
for
needs to be
a
repri-
short amount of time.
Not suspended, just a foul here and
What
there.
are they going to do? Fine him? He's in college.
He's in
You
fi-
can't fine him.
You can't fine. All they're gonna do is all right. If he does it multiple times in a game, he should be taken out. That's all that should happen. And I'm just gonna say this. You guys may not agree with me. I kind of miss the physicality in basketball. Too many times I've seen just a guy late hit this. They don't.
So a guy that robs a store should only be reprimanded if he robs it twice in one day.
You're over here taking.
If he robs it once, it's completely okay. It
Y'all breaking
happens.
the law.
Stores get robbed.
His
it
comparisons,
happens.
you know,
He
they're
shouldn't
crazy.
get reprimanded.
They're crazy.
As
But
you can see, his analogies are very, very good. But
They're out there.
I digress. But all I'm trying to say is yes. Like, is he?
Yes.
What he's doing is bad. Yes. Should he be reprimanded? Yes. Has he been reprimanded? Yes. Should
slightly not by the conference, which is what matters.
It's not by the conference. It's during the game. It's by the refs. If they catch him, they do. If they
And
don't,
he is
it happens.
reprimanded once by the refs,
got
which didn't result in
It
anything
sucks.
except for one free
I
throw
don't
because it
like
was a technical foul.
I don't like it, but I'm just
1
saying.
point. You can take out a player's career, and what do you get? What did that team get out of it? 1 point.
Well,
Congratulations.
1 point.
1 point.
1 point.
What do they?
1 point. All right.
All right. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it, you guys.
All I'm trying to say.
Don't. You're gonna make me do it.
You already did it.
Anyways. So you guys good? Like y'all calm? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we have this week's review booth and our predictions for next week.
Welcome back. And to start off this segment, in every major sport, there is a special group that looks over every call in the field and tries to figure out what is going on. And here on Raider Report, we had much of the same idea. This is Review Booth. First up, we have Chris Jones of Mississippi State and his wardrobe malfunction that he had at the combine running the 40-meter dash. Okay, let's just say the family jewels maybe showed a little bit. All right, I'm just saying the whole family got a peek. All right.
Wow.
So poor guy. Like
I know.
That's what
That was
happens.
some tight shorts he was wearing.
That's what happens when you're a big man and you know trying to squeeze in some spandex real quick.
They will do anything.
And just-
They will do anything to get that 40 time up, man.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
he
He fought through it. Hey,
he just kind
he
of
knew what to do.
he hit the
Quick
ground.
thinking.
He was like, don't even worry, I got it.
Yeah.
We're good.
You know, I don't know that we want to review that one, but
Not too much, not too much.
In totally different light are the Pittsburgh Steelers, who after saving 16 people on the raft should swap their names with the New Orleans Saints.
I see what you did there. I see what you did
Yep, see, because they're saving
so
people.
I agree because like they saved them like you're like a saint, you know, like you're like, oh, you're a saint, you know, but it is still the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is
They weren't
Thank you for that
stealing
in-depth
people.
analysis.
it is still the Pittsburgh. That's terrible. You should never
Sorry,
say that
I'm
again.
a cheesy kid.
It is still the Pittsburgh Steelers though, who are like one of the dirtiest teams in the NFL. So you
But they
know,
were being so nice.
yeah, they're just saving face. I don't know.
Hey, that's why they're going to be saints. Just kidding, just kidding. We're going to let the joke die. Anyways,
Thank
before
you.
we get to our predictions, let's go to Spencer with this week's MVP.
So, with politics and everything really getting everybody worked up recently, I thought we should do a segment on some good news and some positive influences. And with that is United States women's national team star and real-life sports goddess, Alex Morgan, who took time out of spreading freedom around the world, one goal at a time, to write an inspirational children's book series called The Kicks. So if that doesn't make you love Alex Morgan even more, then, well, I don't know, you're lost. You're a lost soul. But that was pretty impressive
That's
to me.
very,
I like that. So,
very
Alex
inspiring.
Morgan, if you're seeing this, follow me on Twitter.
Always for
I
the
love you.
follows. Shout out to the follows.
I love you. Anyway, sorry.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Anyways, let's move on to our predictions for this upcoming week. We have first Duke and UNC.
Duke and UNC, the typical rivalry. I like it. I like it.
possibly biggest rivalry.
Duke.
Drum roll, drum roll.
Got to.
Duke. I'm choosing Duke.
You going with Duke?
I'm going with Duke.
They want to lose. The other people in the
Coach.
audience want to
Coach.
So Duke won the last one.
Duke.
Duke won the last one in crazy fashion. They came back with like 2 minutes left in an improbable victory, but that's why I'm going with UNC. Because, you know, Marcus. Hey, listen, this is Marcus Page's last time as a senior to play Duke in this rivalry. He's going to go off for a big number. And ultimately, I think UNC is the better team this year. More veteran, just all around more complete of a team. So I think UNC is going to, after being stunned last time, is going to pull off the victory this time.
I think it's going to be a good game, though. A good
Absolutely.
game to watch.
Great game.
It's always one of my favorite games
Right,
to watch of
of
the season.
course.
Every year.
It's going to be a
And
live
that's without
audience.
any ties to either team. So
Right. All right. Well, let's move on to the Cavs versus the Wizards. Who do y'all have?
Cavs. Oh, I'm thinking of Cavs and
The
Cavs.
Okay.
Silly me. No. Honestly, yeah. Cavs. As I always say, this is my team. Vote for them all the time. You got LBJ, holding it down. Kyrie. You got Kevin Love, loving. And they're gonna take care of the Wizards. They're coming into their own. Just give it a year or two from now. John Wall's doing great, but he's not gonna take the W.
So a lot of people have been talking lately about is LeBron James playing his laziest and worst basketball of his career. His three-point percentage is at an all-time low, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to hear that because he is still the best player in the league. I understand Steph Curry. I understand that. We're going to forget about him for right now because he's the best shooter in the league.
Yes.
LeBron James is still the best
All-around
player in
player.
the NBA, and he has been for the past few years. And he sat out against the Wizards when they recently played. He didn't make the trip to Washington to the displeasure of quite a few fans that wanted to see him play. And I do think the Cavaliers are going to win this game. They got beat in Washington. I think they're going to win this game. LeBron's got something to prove right now. All this hype's on Steph Curry. And everybody knows LeBron saves himself in the regular season for the postseason. That's just, he takes care of his body that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what he's doing right now. People need to stop worrying about LeBron James. He is still LeBron, the best athlete in the world.
Worry about his hairline, not.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So
Couldn't
you got
have
the
said it better.
Cavs,
Yeah, I
too?
got the Cavs
And
as
you
well.
got the Cavs?
Obviously, all day.
All right.
day.
Well, and our last prediction, we have Texas Tech versus Kansas State. You know, wreck 'em. I'm going for Tech.
Yeah, this is a big one. It's bigger than it looks. Kansas State gave Tech its worst loss in Big 12 conference play so far. And Kansas State's actually toward the bottom of the conference. And if Tech really wants to solidify their holding in the NCAA tournament, this is a game that they're going to have to win.
Yeah.
Especially coming off of 2 tough road games at Kansas and then at West Virginia. So I think Tech will win the game because they have to, and I think Tubby Smith will get them prepared to close out the season in a strong manner going into the NCAA tournament. So wreck 'em Tech.
And
I'm
isn't
going
it
to
senior
Tech.
Yep.
On senior night
Senior
here at the United Supermarkets Arena. Be there or be square because Tech's going to get the dub.
Who you going for?
Well, I was really thinking about this, had a sleepless night, and
I can tell.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to go with Tech. I mean, obviously, it's a must. It's a must win. You guys got to do it if you want to be solidified. Don't bust my bracket before you guys get into the bracket.
For
So
real.
please don't do that. I have confidence in the guys, and they're gonna come out with the dub. So, and
We're gonna do it.
hopefully I'll get a win.
I love it, man. I love closing out as we agree with each other. Doesn't happen much,
Wow.
so
It
I
doesn't
don't like it.
at all.
I don't like it.
it's a strong note to end on, though, wouldn't you say?
It is.
All right, so thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been a great show. We hope you tune in again next week to see how we fared in our picks. Oh!
Hey, go.
Yeah!
It's still under there. A little more.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate
This is
this.
Raider Report, guys. Tune in for
This is
next
Raider
week.
Report. Tune in next week.
Happy birthday.